All right, welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live on SABC2. Now, the reburial of J.B. Marks' remains will take place today in Venterdorsp. Our reporter is there, Aldrin Sampear. Aldrin, good morning. Give us what is happening at the moment in Venterdorsp.
Yeah, good morning. We're coming live to you from Venterdorsp, right at the burial site where J.B. Marks' remains will be buried. There's a monument that's also been erected, and that will be unveiled by the President later this afternoon, as well as the tombstone as well that will be unveiled by the family. While the family is actually having their short service, private service, that's currently underway at the family house, and then later on they will move to the main event that will be taking place at the stadium. That's a big dome that has been set up for that event. I'm joined now by Minister in the Presidency. Good morning, rather, Minister.
Good morning.
You've just told us about that long drive from the northwest. I mean, from Limpopo, obviously from Minister Collins Chabane's funeral, and today you are here. Why are you here? What message is it that government is?
You know, the President declared this a special official funeral, which is the highest funeral category that any ordinary South African can be able to be bestowed by the President. And as you know, Uncle J.B. Marks, together with Moses Kotane, these are heroes of our struggle for liberation. They're the ones that are the architects of the new ANC from the 40s up until now. So it is in contribution and in recognition of the sterling work that Uncle J.B. paid in the struggle for freedom in our country. So that's why this recognition by the President.
And Minister, just take us through that distinction between, for instance, the funeral that Minister Collins Chabane received yesterday. I understand it was a Category A, if I'm not mistaken, and this one has been termed a Category F. What's the distinction there?
Well, the distinction lies in the fact that Minister Collins Chabane was a member of cabinet, and in terms of the ministerial handbook and the policy on funerals, that's the category. This one is for outstanding South Africans who have made a sterling contribution to freedom and democracy. That's why the President has declared this a special official funeral.
And let's speak about that sterling contribution made by people like J.B. Marks as well as Moses Kotane, and the significance around, for instance, J.B. Marks' reburial right here in Venterdorsp. This town has been associated with Eugene ter Blanche. That's when you speak about Venterdorsp, the first thing that comes to people's mind is it's a right-wing town. Why this area specifically to rebury him?
Well, Uncle J.B., as we understand it, he was born in this area. In 1903, that's where he grew up, and the contribution that he has made for the struggle for freedom, especially the struggle of the working people, is such an outstanding amount of contribution that he made. That's why he has to be laid to rest in the country and the place of his ancestors.
And speaking about that contribution that he made for workers, I remember reading up on some of the work that he did while still here in South Africa before he left for Tanzania. The 1946 March, 1,000 workers who went on strike, something quite significant, something still termed one of the greatest strikes that this country has ever seen.
Well, recall there in the 40s, he was the president of the mine workers, and he led one of the greatest strikes in the mining industry in our country that has ever been seen. Of the South African Communist Party, and also a former Treasurer General of the ANC. You'll recall as well in the 50s, Nelson Mandela, our icon, used to break up the meetings of the Communist Party, which was chaired by Uncle J.B. Marks. But because of the patience that Uncle J.B. and Moses Kotane had for Nelson Mandela and other leaders of the ANC, we have an icon called Nelson Mandela today because of the nurturing that he got from such a giant of our struggle, Uncle J.B. Marks.
Quite significant there. And just for the benefit of our viewers at home, for instance, when we drove to this burial site, the road from Klerksdorp is called Chris Hani Road, and immediately when you get into Venterdorsp, the next landmark that you'll be seeing is this monument, which is right next to us, and that will be unveiled later this afternoon by the minister, by the President Jacob Zuma.